Senator Charles Schumer has introduced a bill to let Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac buy and repackage bigger mortgages. The cap would rise from $417,000 to $625,000. It is one of many proposals out there, most of them by Democrats, to ease the housing crisis and try and stop foreclosures. But is this a good move for the economy, or is it a government gone wild type of bailout? Joining me now, John Taylor, President and CEO of the National Community Reinvestment Coalition, Jack Berkman, former counsel to the House Banking Committee, now Republican strategist, and Herb Greenberg, our contributor here at CNBC, joins me as well. John, you think that this may indeed help. How so?
Well, I think it's going to help a lot, but it's something that we really don't have much choice to do. I think we're either going to watch literally millions of houses fall into foreclosure and a further deterioration of the market, or we're going to start to use institutions like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the FHA and others to try to prevent this kind of catastrophe from happening. So
Jack, yeah. 1 second. What about those, John, who say that this is a bailout for people who should have known, buyer beware, that they were getting into the wrong kind of mortgages?
Yeah, I suspect that there's some that should have known, but look, there's such a massive amount of mortgages that fell into this category of exotic or non-traditional mortgages, in which the industry convinced people that this was a safe and a sound kind of investment, and that this was what everybody's doing. Your house would grow in equity, interest rates would remain stable, you'd be able to refinance. They were sold a bill of goods, and you'd be surprised at how many educated people are in this pool now, thinking that they got into this market and believed the industry when they were getting the
Jack,
product.
you're chomping at the bit.
Oh, Sue, I got to tell you, the sky is falling, and the only solution is Uncle Sam, Fannie and Freddie, and the FHA. The markets can't help us. I think nothing's wrong. If the system tried to lend too much money, let it crash out. You know, if these entities like Bear Stearns or Countrywide, if they went broke because they were gamblers, that's fine. We don't need Fannie and Freddie to come in with more of a bailout than what's already been done. I think it's absurd. What your viewers have to understand is that Fannie and Freddie, and John is indirectly part of this coalition, they have spent taxpayer dollars, tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars going back 40 years lobbying for these loan limit increases. And now what they're doing, it's very appropriate that we're talking about this on 9/11.
And the market and the banks don't lobby, right?
What they have done, they're doing what the airlines did to this country on 9/11. They're exploiting fear to get their own agenda rammed through. This has nothing to do with borrowers at the low end. My goodness, we're talking about higher end loans. This isn't going to help poor people. This isn't going to help working families. Let me tell you something about Fannie Mae.
Okay, quickly, Jack, because I need to get Herb in here.
I'm sorry. They hate low-end loans. They wish they could get rid of them. They want to get into the luxury home market.
What about that, Herb?
But Jack, the issue here also is that you say $600,000 is not a low-end loan. Nowadays, especially in states like California, $600,000, I got news for you, it's a low-end loan.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant, because even if
how's it irrelevant?
Even if all that's true, but even if all that's true, persons speculating in mortgages of that kind don't deserve federal aid. Even if it's the case that in places like California or Vegas or Washington, D.C.
I'm sorry, but where's the federal aid?
The federal aid.
No. This is Fannie and Freddie.
The federal aid is Fannie and Freddie.
Let me make the point. This is Fannie and Freddie refinancing these loans.
Yes, but they're federal entities. They're GSEs. You shouldn't mislead the viewers.
They're also part of the market. I mean, they're stockholding institutions. You know, they're not government subsidized other than implied guarantees.
Your viewers need to know what Fannie and Freddie are. They're called government-sponsored enterprises. They pay no federal taxes. They pay no taxes of any kind. They receive massive federal subsidies.
That's not true.
Massive federal subsidies to do what they do.
They pay income taxes. They pay to. I'll tell you this. They pay hundreds of millions of dollars to the city of D.C. in lieu of taxes. But the truth is, they're a stockholding enterprise as well. And they are part of this free market. They're sponsored because they have the implied guarantee from Treasury of $1 billion or more, or more than that, sorry, to make sure that they're shored up by Treasury. But otherwise, there's no subsidy coming to them other than you know, their non-payment of corporate tax.
Jack, there are people who say it's not a bailout because these mortgages are not forgiven. They are simply renegotiated. And as a result of that, the people stay in their homes, they still pay the mortgage, they're still paying taxes, and it would help stabilize the housing market.
I disagree, Sue, and here's why. Nobody should be in a $600,000 home with federal help. If you can be in a $600,000 home on your own, that's fine. But you should never, we should never reach the point in this country where Uncle Sam has resolved to keep people in $600,000 loans. The more important point, I think, with Fannie and Freddie is...
So what about $500,000? What about $400,000? Would that work for you?
I think that's high, but
I mean, look,
why don't existing loan limits work?
Can I just say,
Fannie already has broad loan limits that they've had for years. I think they're fine.
Right,
I don't see any reason to broaden.
Jack, we're in the middle of a crisis in which almost 2 million foreclosures are imminent.
But that's
and if we don't get ahead of that, the impact on Wall Street, we're already seeing it, and we haven't even, hang on, we haven't even got to the peak reset rates yet, which are going to happen in January, February, March, and April, in which the massive amount of these exotic mortgages are going to occur.
Bring it on.
Okay.
Yeah, bring it on.
John Greenberg, and one thing I have to point out here is even you, in the notes I'm reading here, you talk about this is really, oh, come on, this is just for a year. Isn't that really grandstanding? You're not really talking about anything but a short-term fix here or an attempted fix.
Well, you know, it is a temporary offer, the offer from Schumer and Dodd to allow for a 10% increase. But just that increase alone will hit almost 300,000 homes. I don't think it's enough. I think you're absolutely right. I think we've got to have other players.
Danger. You're creating a crisis.
And I think we've got to have securitizers and the banks working to work together to get ahead of this problem, because we can't allow what Jack is proposing, because what Jack will propose won't just hurt the homeowners, it's going to hurt the market and the economy as a whole.
Okay, I wish I had more time. Thank you, gentlemen all.
Thanks.
John, Jack,
and
Herb, thank you.